Hello from Geelong in Australia to you wherever you are in the world. My name's Kat and I work with the Institute of Positive Education at Geelong Grammar School. Today we're focusing on perspective. We might also call this wisdom or practical intelligence. It's not so much about keeping things in perspective, which is an important skill, but it's about using our perspective and wisdom to benefit others. The archetype of a wise person is a wrinkled and hunched wizard or medicine woman, eyes bright with knowledge but body worn down with the years of accumulating it. I think of Gandalf or Yoda or Professor McGonagall. We don't tend to think of youth and wisdom in the same category. A youthful character who's demonstrably wise, like Mary Poppins, we forget them when trying to name paragons of this strength. I think that's pretty interesting. In our society, we glorify youthfulness. You only have to see the rows and rows of face creams and hair dyes that help us to hide our true age to know that that's true. But has this led to us ignoring our elders and the lived wisdom they present? I wonder if wisdom has become less admired in modern times, as in the Western world our cultural respect for our elders has continued to diminish. Having perspective is most commonly associated with age. It's about taking stock of life. It comes from knowledge and experience, but it's more than just information. A favourite saying of my husband's is that knowledge is knowing what to say, but wisdom is knowing how to say it. Age doesn't necessarily equate with wisdom. There are many examples around us of older people who act unwisely, or younger people who act with maturity and perspective. In our communities, perspective allows us to listen to someone else and offer good advice or support. We're able to weigh up our own experiences, mix them with empathy and understanding, and arrive at a helpful place. Perspective is grouped with other strengths of wisdom, like curiosity and creativity, that are about learning and using information in the service of the good life. It's different from intelligence, and all sorts of tests over time have shown this, and it's more about how we accumulate and draw on our life experiences. Very young kids might find using perspective a bit hard. We know from developmental research that someone who hasn't developed perspective yet will think that if they like something, so will everybody else. This leads to situations like my little niece trying to feed the family cat ice cream because she likes it and so believes that the cat will too. I mean, in fairness, she's not wrong. In working with young people and using their strength of perspective, we might point out the feelings of someone in a storybook and ask questions about why they might be feeling that way, or how the child might feel in a similar situation. Another great conversation might be about why someone behaved in a certain way, either in a story or in real life. Older kids will be even more able to engage in this sort of conversation and understand that someone may have multiple motives for their behaviour, like they want to be cool or liked, but they also want to help. A fun activity for the whole family is to draw a picture of a situation from someone else's point of view, literally a different perspective. Or if you're into jigsaw puzzles, there are some great ones out there where the picture on the box is not the finished puzzle, but a view of the people watching the finished puzzle and their reaction to it. This can prompt some great conversations about what the people must be thinking or feeling in watching a scene, their perspective. We might also be able to practice the important skill of putting things into perspective and considering when everything feels overwhelming or awful, if there are other ways of interpreting the situation. If we want to zoom in a bit more on wisdom, you can draw pictures of wise people and label them. What is it that makes them wise? And who are the wise people that you know? For teenagers, who's someone your own age that you think's wise? What is it about them that gives this impression? And how are they using their perspective or wisdom to support other people? Asking questions builds perspective, and we know perspective might often be used with open-mindedness and social intelligence. We're seeing examples of many different perspectives on many of the events that are happening around the world. The ability of people to engage their wisdom, their ability to gain and use knowledge for the good of other people, has been evident and has also been challenged. Our wisdom can help us deal with the challenges humanity faces, what some people call wicked problems, these things that are too big for any one person to fix, that have no clear resolution. Our wisdom and perspective support our communities to hold discourse with our own cultural conditioning and understanding about right and wrong, about good for me versus good for society. How do we continue to refer to our elders, our wise women and men who have the insight that comes from lived experience well beyond our own? For adults, in using our strength of perspective and wisdom, can we be intentional about building our understanding about an issue, about calling on these wise people? How can I systematically add to my own knowledge in order to better serve my family and my community? This fight that we all fight, to live long and prosper, will only be successful if we continue to grow and to draw on the wisdom of ages. I hope these ideas about perspective have been helpful and maybe spark some inspiration for how we can support the people around us and ourselves with a focus on perspective as we go through the day. Remember to click through and look at the show notes, which have a summary of the activities we've mentioned here and links to other resources. Please do rate and review and share this podcast so other people can find it too. And I look forward to talking to you again when we explore another strength of character, a tool we all have to support the good in the world.